Hey YouTube, Survival Every Day. As you can see in front of you, and obviously by the title, will give you a good idea of what this video is about. I guess quite a few months ago I did a video on this 1911 book, and that I really, one of my goals was to get a 1911. So I finally did. And there's a bit of an interesting story behind the reason why I even wanted a 1911, really. Other than, I'm going to date myself here, but other than Magnum PI and some of the other greats in movie magic there, having them, kind of making them the cool, manly gun, But anyway, so I ended up getting a 1911, and I went with a Springfield Armory 1911, and here it is in here. Real quick, let me just give you a quick history on the 1911s. I could kick myself. I had, back in the 80s, a 1911, an original GI model, 1911 from World War II, and I didn't really even know what I had. I had it for a little while, and then ended up selling it. And luckily, I sold it to somebody who knew what it was, who was a collector, and gave me the appropriate amount for what it was at the time. And I was really surprised and I was given the gun, and I sold it. And like I said, I kicked myself for selling it. I wish I had it. So what I ended up getting, I always wanted a 1911 to replace it, and so I ended up getting one that is not a GI model. It's similar, but it's not quite. There's a few things on this particular gun. It's the range officer gun that I kind of wanted to, or would like to have on a 1911. Anyway, so the issue, the reason why I gave away the 1911 is I was a lot younger in the 80s, and I really didn't know firearms as I know them today, and the fact that it was, in order to shoot the gun, you have to have it in double action with the hammer cocked back as it is now, and I always had a hard time with that. and then also clearing the gun as far as being safe. And I'm going to show you real quick how I clear a 1911. There is no mag in it. Obviously, there's two ways to do it, and that is, and sorry, I got a little dog running around here. And the safety's on. Safety's off. And also real quick, two safeties: thumb safety and grip safety. But that's not what I'm talking about right here. Is to decock it. If you have a magazine, you eject the magazine, pull the slide back, eject the round that's in there. Make sure that you're pointing this in a safe direction, maybe a fire barrel, downrange, into the ground, and then you can pull the trigger. And then that way you've decocked it, because there is no decock on a 1911. Another method for doing it is, some people don't do this, I do, is that it's cocked, and that is to opposing hand, in it over the thumb, pull the trigger, let it come to this position. There's a slight gap in it, and then pull back, pull on the trigger, and then slowly let it down. There you go. And again, you want to point that in a safe, especially this particular method of decocking it. You really want to point this in a safe direction. Well, real quick, there's a lot of reviews on 1911s, and I think there's quite a few reviews on this. The reason why this gun particularly spoke to me is that it was a range officer. It had some of the particulars or goodies that I like. Obviously, the extended beaver tail with the thumb safety, the adjustable trigger, and also the skeletonized hammer. Now, and then also the oversized safety. It's only for us righties. Unfortunately, I didn't get it. It doesn't come with the safety on the right side for the lefties. Also, the way it's being made, it doesn't. One of the things it doesn't have, which I didn't want for my first 1911, was a mounting spot on here for optics. Excuse me, not optics. Who would be shooting the gun from there? A flashlight or maybe even a laser. But one of the big things about this particular gun is that it does have the range sights on it, and they're black. So if you're shooting against a black target, you kind of lose that sight picture a little bit. So that's possibly, maybe I might change it out. I'm going to see how it actually works for me. I'm going to go to the range in a minute, and obviously that'll be at the end part of this video. It comes with two 7-round magazines. I only have 2. I have not purchased any other ones, and I will purchase some more. I'm probably going to get some from Springfield Armory, because Springfield Armory, let me take this off here. Springfield Armory, this is considered a loaded firearm, and you get this handy dandy loaded coupon paper that you send in, and they're pretty cheap. 7-round blued magazines, $12. Obviously, there's a limit of 10. I'm going to probably end up getting some of the 10s, maybe some of the 7s, some of the 10s for it, and some other stuff that's included that's at a good discount. I don't know what kind of wait time there is for that with the magazine law environment right now, and whether or not they're backed up. Anyway, also because this is the range officer, and one of the reasons why I did get this particular one, comes with this very nice case. Comes with some tools. Obviously, this particular gun has an locking mechanism in an internal locking mechanism, which I think is retarded, and I'm never going to use it. Anyway, it comes with a couple of different items. A little paddle retention holster, which I'm going to use today, and then also a magazine pouch, so to speak, but it looks like it's not a paddle holster. It's a through the belt loop, and believe it or not, it's got little Picatinny rails on here. What would you mount on there? It's kind of silly to me. Anyway, all right. So that's a quick overview of the gun. I went and I looked at numerous 1911s, and I did the rattle test. I checked for the tightness of the different components, and I got to tell you, this gun is very tight. So real quick, one of the other features that drew me to this particular gun were these beautiful, and I can never say it right, Coca-Cola wood grips. Beautiful. I know people change them out. I think it kind of sets the gun off. No checkering on the front. There is some checkering on the back. It fits your hand very well. It's a heavy gun, which is nice for shooting a .45 caliber. Let's see. I'm gonna pin it back. There you go. And there's a couple of other items that have done to this gun in their I believe in their custom shop. That aren't found on some other 1911s. I think it's the sloped ejection port and things like that. But as you can see, it's got a stainless barrel on it, very nice, and doesn't have a full-length guide rod. It is a small one. But anyway, let's just take a look. Hopefully you can see that. I'm going to put it on macro, and it never really quite works for me when I do it. But there you go. So you can get a really good look at it. Hopefully lighting is good in here. And it really is. It's just a beautiful gun. So I'm going to go ahead and take it to the range, and I have not shot it yet. Oh, well, let me just tell you real quick. The striations on here, they're really sharp. You really can get a good grip on this when you're pulling it back. I mean, they really were sharp. Actually, I hate to say it, I actually cut my finger on it. Well, should I say did a skin tear. But anyway, all right, so here it is. And hopefully you can see it. a very nice logo, Springfield Armory logo on it. I actually did look at the Remington R1. I looked at the Ruger's 1911, and I actually, for the price, the range officer seemed to be really the best deal. And I don't know why. But well, maybe it's because of the sights. I just bumped the camera. Sorry, guys. I just don't understand why it was such a good price. Again, it is a full-size 1911. So, all right. Well, here we go to the range. All right, so I just got back from the range, and wow, I love going to the range. I love shooting firearms. Anyway, and especially new ones. And this guy is very. It's a beautiful gun. I mean, it shoots beautifully. Real quick, what I wanted to show. The nice thing about it, I put a little over 100 rounds through it. The nice thing about it is you have a screw here that adjusts, I can speak right, adjusts the top, the rear top sight here. Also, you have another adjustment on top, so it lowers it and raises it, and then also the one on the side moves it to the left, to the right, very minimally. Anyway, so it fired very well. I didn't have any kind of jams, stovepipes, misfeeds. I did have one failure to feed, and that was because of my own stupidity, and that was not putting the magazine into the gun correctly. So it was sticking out just a hair. So anybody with 1911s, yeah, obviously with any handgun, really, you want to really make sure that that is driven home. So, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and clean it. Well, I took it, disassembled it, took it down, and I got to tell you, man, that barrel bushing was really on there. Man, it was, I mean, talk about some tight tolerances. And one of the things I forgot to mention, that this is the stainless steel. I don't know if you were even if I was in focus there, or even if I was in frame. But it was really tight. You know, when you take one of these down, you turn it to this side to get the spring and the I don't even know what you really would the detent or de-push button. I'm making stuff up now. Anyway, and you turn it over to this side to get that out, and then you turn it to this side in order to get it out of the end. And I tell you, it was very hard to get this to come out. I mean, it's tight. I had to I had to put a little bit of ballast oil on it, and it freed it up. But anyway, this is pretty much it. And as you can see, that's the little tiny guide rod for it. And once it comes apart. And as you can see, here's the inners of the slide, and something written in here. I don't know what that says. Someone's 3-5 or something like that. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's someone's signature saying it passed inspection, but it's engraved in there by hand. So, but as you can see, and I should know this which series it is, but it doesn't have the internal firing pin safety, and I believe that they, with a lot of other gun manufacturers, if you make the firing pin out of a lighter weight, it has less tendency to shoot forward or something like along those lines. But I could be completely wrong and talking out of my ass. Anyway, yes, sorry to make this such a long video, but I wanted to take it down and show you some of the internals with it. And but like I said, so this is a match grade barrel, and like I said, it with the fine adjustments on the rear sight, and with, I mean, this gun really, it was very accurate at 2 yards. No kidding. It was actually very accurate at like 10 yards, 15 yards, and I didn't quite get to 25 yards. The range was a little on the busy side. So, but anyway, so I just thought I'd share that. And guys, I hope you've enjoyed the overview of this 1911 A1 loaded Springfield 1911. It's a nice gun.